Okay, so traffic video. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm working on raising my voice, being louder, being able to, what's that word? Speak from the diaphragm, say it with my full chest, or whatever, what have you. I don't know, I'm just cruising. I'm in standstill traffic just about. It might as well be. But, I'm just, kind of moseying along here, and I decided to make yet another video. And now, especially since I have time, I'm not around a whole bunch of toxicity constantly. The channels are a lot clearer. There's been a lot coming in, and I've just been like, there's so much I can't even organize it. So I'm just like, God, what to talk about, and I was just guided to be on the camera. I'm not driving anywhere new, so here's faces on the camera. So okay, cool. I don't know, I'll just BS on here and see what comes up. I don't have anything in particular. I do have a situation that I recently experienced. I don't have any hard feelings. I just didn't care enough. It wasn't worth it to me to put the effort in for where I was last. So I'm not a job person. I knew that a long time ago, or maybe I just haven't found the right job that I don't know, doesn't get too repetitious for me long enough. I don't know what it is. I have said I do have career ADD, and ADD are among my talents and stuff like that. So it's like there's plenty of pivot points that I can take, and it's just like, So anyways, the last job, what's the word? Floppy disk, I guess. Motherboard I was on was. I'm even gonna say it's not even worth mentioning. Anyways, I was actually, did you fill out an application? I was kind of like mortified. I was like, and then I got over it. I was like, okay, I'll try it. Got hired. Didn't quite work out. It was a little bit too much BS for me. Too much politics. Too much. Oh, you need to be, into these people who are constantly gossiping. Just like I'm telling the person what's going on. It's just like, I'm just not into what they're talking about. There's nothing for us to talk about, just a hi, bye, communicate about work. And if they don't need to know me because they're already gossiping, and, if you're gossiping about me, and like, I feel like if you feel formed an opinion of me, and you can tell by the energy, how somebody like feels about you, what they're already thinking, and then, you can't help but hear it because they're so loud about it. Just a bunch of ignorant people who attack you because they want to know you, but they don't want to know the truth about you, just due to the simple fact of what somebody else said, or what they assumed. Okay, cool. So I'm like, I don't know you, don't really need to know you except for, how you work in this environment. And it's just like, apparently people can't thrive without a bunch of bullshit going on these days. I don't know what it is. I'm just not there for. I'm a straight professional. Like, okay, I don't have to talk to you outside of anything work related. I absolutely do not. I'm like, okay, it takes away the robot effect, but it's kind of like with the level of toxicity, I see why they would want to hire robots instead of people. I'm sorry, I'm totally against it, but I understand the logic messed up, right? But not really, because it's just like people bring such a low frequency around food with just total, and it's like, that frequency, it gets into the food. I'm a chef, by the way. I'm a bartender as well. I bartend here and there. Been very sporadic and very very diluted, and like how many shifts I attend, because it's just like, in freelancing, and people know how it goes. You pick up a shift, you commit to it, and then another one comes and it's like, dang, should have picked that one up. Anyways, and then I'm just trying to figure out how to get away from the platforms altogether, which will eventually happen. I'm pushing myself more and more to, put my name out there, because when it's just me, I don't have a team, I just seem to do better. And it, not in the sense like, oh, I don't need a team. You know, just like the teams I've been getting have been like more, you know, trying to compete, trying to sabotage, and it's just that's not really a team. I'm still by myself. So what is the point of having, you know, these folks around except for, you know, grab a list, go do what I need to do, yada yada, come back, boom boom. So anyways, yeah, that job didn't work out, and you know, for obvious reasons, it's just not. I'm not about to sit there and play these games with people. And you know, it's still Mercury retrograde, and it ends on the 13th. And you know, like I said, people are just gonna play right up until the last seconds. And I'm just watching people, you know, talk all this shit, or hearing people talk a whole bunch of nonsense. It's just like, you know, not what you're supposed to be focused on. It's just like, if you're not focused on what you're supposed to be doing, then what, you know, why are you there? That's how I see it. Like, I made a statement, which is probably what, you know, got me let go of or whatever. You know, it's like, I actually want to be here. You need to be here. And so it's like, you know, most work environments are very narcissistic, and like, you know, you only want people here who need to be here. You know, it's like, okay, so they need to be here. Motherfuckers got, like, you know, family and households, mortgages, car notes, and they're risking like sexual harassment cases. Make it make sense, because it's like somebody that truly wants to be there doesn't care about anything else that's going on. Maybe it's just messed up logic, and the food is just, you know, it shows when you have people like that around you as well. When you have a bunch of people on some dumb shit, nobody really like supporting you in what you actually need to do. You know, they want to sit around and try to, you know, bring you into the gossip. I'm just like, no, you know, it's just like weak-minded people all around, and it gets exhausting. You know, like, your purpose for that job is to be there. Some people, they have a divine purpose, and they get on these platforms, you know, they try to, you know, we try to help people better themselves, improve themselves, work on themselves, and, you know, we do the same, you know, and, you know, unless it's just one of those not practicing what they preach. I just refuse to be that person that's not practicing. I work every day to, you know, develop a spiritual filter of some sort, to work on what I need to do for my own ascension, for my own physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health, and growth and ascension. And, you know, it just seems like that's not even something people are interested in. They're more interested about what somebody else has going on in their life. It's really, it just gets sad, you know. Because I never ask for help, because that's just the one thing I really hate doing. Like, if I ask for help, it's just like, trust me, it took a lot. It took a lot. All I've ever asked is for people to respect themselves. And, you know, yeah. So just respect yourself, man. Like, why are you letting that bullshit go into your ears and then come out of your mouth? That's two portals it's going in and out of. You know, it's just like, you know, the holes in our bodies are portals. I'm sure, you know, that's pretty easy to understand. If not, okay, well, you know, maybe there will be a video you can find on YouTube, or maybe I'll come up with one later. But every orifice on your body is a damn portal, and you gotta, you know, monitor what comes through. Or, you know, certain spirits come through, the demons can walk through, or you can use your portals to let God come through, you know, the Most High, whatever your name for, you know, the Most High is. Mine is the Most High, just to be the most as respectable as possible, respectful as possible, and not be like what I feel by calling him a 3-letter word is articulately lazy, but I could be wrong. You know, I just know it works for me. Yeah, I guess I call this a bone to pick. I don't know. We'll see later what the title is. Let's finally clearing up. So now that I've talked through the bullshit, you know, the traffic's cleared up, my mind is cleared up, the channels are clearing up, and I'm kind of easing my way into the message, just like you saw I just did now with the portals. You know, we leave open spiritual portals, physical portals, and then our body is a giant portal. The food we ingest, you know, that's a portal to your own destruction. Like, what are you letting come through that portal? like kind of bouncing off higher vibrational beings and getting on, and people having to tolerate you instead of, fully accept you. And that goes for someone with a big light too. Only thing is, like, the light just kind of exposes the shadow of the low frequency people, and eventually, like, there's no room for them, and they have to move on, they have to leave, and then the low vibrational beings have nothing to attach to but themselves, and then they start being negative amongst themselves until somebody gets destroyed completely. That's the cocoon of the matrix. Your energy gets too big and they want to try to keep you small, so they try to bounce off, siphon your energy in some way, shape, or form, and make you small like them, or make everybody the same size. Sorry, but if you didn't do the work, then you don't get the size. It's like building muscle. You don't get the size if you don't do it. Some people, they are just small. They're kept small, but they're deceptively strong energetically. That's like ectomorph type stuff. Just like skinny people who are like frequently strong, and it's like, wow. And where can I pivot with this one? Yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna cancel that one. I'm gonna eat that mistake. Well, it wasn't a mistake. It came off for a reason. I'll probably circle back around to it, but it's there for a reason. Maybe another video, who knows? But ectomorph is a soma type, body type, which tells you how your body metabolizes what you eat. Oh, there we go. Okay, it metabolizes what you eat. So what you feed yourself, that's what's going to get metabolized, and that's what your energy is going to be like. If you're healthy, you eat a bunch of greens, you're going to be more like the peaceful animals, like the horses, the cows, the goats. The goats, they eat anything, but their metabolism, because they eat mostly grass, mostly things that are of the earth, is going to be faster, so it can eat whatever it wants and still get away with it, because of like its natural diet, its natural taste buds gravitate towards things that are healthy, like any other animal. And animals aren't sitting around eating a bunch of dumb shit. Giraffes, elephants, they all healthy animals, all very muscular, all can take you out, but they're very peaceful. Carnivores, they hunt. They hunt for prey. They hunt for the peaceful animals. All they eat is meat. All they can survive off of is killing another being. We can say that, plants and things are living beings, but, can we say it breeds? It does require oxygen. It requires sunlight. It requires water, dirt, and that's it. It doesn't require eating another person. It's an extremely efficient life force, where it just literally lives off what is provided for them, whereas the carnivores have to go and they really have to go get it out of the mud, so to speak. They have to go destroy something, another life force, another being, another let's say a walking being or a swimming being, a being that is in motion, or has to be in motion to survive. They have to go kill those. A being that bleeds blood and like has nostrils, they have to go do that. So there's different different diets for different body types. But what they're doing is necessary. It's not to feed a undying hunger. They get their fill. However many times a day that might be. They kill that one animal or two, however many they can or need to get for that day, and then they, metabolism works fast. You have to do it again the next day, or whatever your digestive system cycle, however long that takes for it to be empty enough to have to go, to be light and have to hunt again, because you're running on fumes, or you're just in dangerous territory, and you're in danger of starving to death possibly, or keep it just above that, where it's just like, okay, it's just enough to keep the fuel. It's kind of like refilling your vehicle after after it hits quarter of a tank, and then you go refill it before that light comes on. And some people, they have the power and ability to do this, and some people they don't. They just simply, or they refuse to, out of like a lack of energy, which to me translates in this case a lack of will to live. And they'll just give up and die, kind of like the old and sickly. It's kind of like they don't have it anymore. Some of it, and believe it or not, a lot of it is because of what they fed themselves their whole life. They have ingested and invested, and just expel so much toxicity out of their portals that they literally drain themselves like a battery. Batteries drain themselves all the time, and they simply don't have it to power their extremities to go do what they need to do with their life. And that's people. It's people, that's animals, and it's kind of like the ants and the grasshoppers. The ants sat there and worked hard all summer. In the winter came, the grasshoppers kind of got fucked up because they they didn't do the work. They didn't gather or anything like that, and they didn't have the energy they needed, or that would have sustained them for the winter, to at least, if you ran a little short, they didn't even have the food. So they died, and they didn't even have the energy to go and hunt for the food that would sustain their life. I'm gonna cut it short because I gotta check my GPS. But yeah, it's kind of like that. Just like watching a bunch of people seem inefficient. I could be totally wrong about people, but to me, that's just an inefficient way to spend your energy. Like, what can you do to improve your life? What can you do to improve your thought process that somebody else's life doesn't matter on that frequency, like like a low frequency, which is like, oh, I just want to be in their business. It's just such a garbage way to live. And we all come from lower frequency things being piled on us, but it's just like after a certain age, your mommy issues, your daddy issues, all the shit that happened in childhood, that is your responsibility after adulthood to get that shit fixed, or fix it yourself. That's just the bottom line. It's just like, you don't sit up here and throw your trauma on somebody else, even if you're not projecting that exact trauma, but the trauma in general, you're throwing it onto someone else who doesn't, has never done anything to you or does not deserve it. It's basically what I'm saying. There's so many pivot points here. And hopefully, everything's coming through clear for you, and not some random rambling from some chick on YouTube, just in traffic. Well, not even in traffic, it's going pretty smooth. But yeah, like, and like the animals who are carnivores, they have to, they need the meat because, it develops to their muscles, but they're fast twitch muscles at that. And also, they need it for those short bursts of high energy chases, that allow them to catch chases and battles. They have to kill things for short term. Now we're getting somewhere, for short term necessity and glory. So what these carnivore types do in the form of people is they feel the need to take each other out. Always super competition. If this person is here, I'll lose my job, which is probably true, but you don't lose anything that you shouldn't be losing. You're losing fat, basically. It's just like, okay, what's gonna, the Most High saying, pivot point, what's gonna bring you to a better you? What's gonna raise your frequency and bring you to your greatest? So instead of sitting there crying about it, like me, anytime, it seemed that I took a loss, which it's never a loss, it's a lesson. It's just kind of like, okay, so you knew that So I knew that I was ready to go, and like I was just getting to a point where I just don't care, and that's a dangerous place for anyone to be, just not caring about their word. It really is time to go. You should definitely leave, because then you become toxic to yourself and other people, and then their toxicity becomes more potent to you. You know, like if the animal that carnivore has eaten was toxic, and it was eating, like the goat, if it was eating a bunch of nonsense, you know, like eating table scraps of Kentucky, like fried chicken or something like that, then, or pork, like a bunch of fried pork, then that animal is, you know, it's gonna be nutritious to the carnivore to a certain point. So, sorry, only to a certain point, and then, you know, and then he goes and finds a better source, and then it starts hunting on their lands because they feel better when they take that person down. You know, it's just like, because they think higher of them, right? So it's just like somebody, I have a story. Someone was like, oh, she must think she got her. Some dude who was just super hating on me, and I was working as a auto technician. You know, oil changes, tire rotations, check fluids, air filter, whatever. You know, dude just super hateful for no reason. I could look at his face and tell he was like bitch made. But you know, it's just like some people, they just have that look on them. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. Like some people, you just look at them like, what the f-? Like, nah, I'm good. I can tell you ain't. You're not about anything with your life except for trying to get over on somebody else. So, dude was so jealous and hateful. I didn't understand why at all. I'm like, is this a family member I don't know about or something? It was weird because the guy stayed on me, like, you know, constantly. Well, every time I looked up, he was staring. You know how you can feel someone just staring at you? Oh no. Just staring at you, burning a hole, like in the back of your head, or like, you know, just wherever they're looking, you can feel their energy, and it's kind of like, please stop projecting on me, you know. And every time I turn around, it would be him. It was always him, and the dude would like try to snitch on me every chance he got. Just real bitch made dude. Instead of coming to me and telling me what his problem was with me, he would take shots at me or whatever. You know, try to talk all about me, trying to find out my business. You know, just weird shit. And like, these dudes are just so trash these days. Investigating people's business. I'm like, you're not a fucking private eye, bro. You're not. And, you know, God forbid you get one in your life, because the same things you're worried about in my life is probably what's wrong with you, what's going on or not in your life. And but anyways, you know, he was weak physically. You know, I was actually stronger, and it was like, and I'm not even bragging. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the situation, trying to assess the situation. Like, why is this dude like beaming on me? You know, it's just like, why is he like always looking like he's got a plan, like to take me out or something? It was just like, am I paranoid? I had to look at myself first. I was just like, no. And it's just like, you know, a nice hello, crack a joke or two. Like, no, nothing. The dude still fucking hates me. Okay, cool. And it is what it is. And I just ignored the dude. Like, and everything I did, you know, he was like trying to play like supervisor, but to play supervisor, this dude would just go snitch on something that he thought I did wrong. And then it's just like, when he got correct, it's like, no, she actually did it right. It was just like, he was sorry. It would just you know, just get infuriated. Or like, if I came in from lunch break, he would be clocking my lunch breaks, man. And I saw the dude one time, I came in like 5 minutes late from a lunch break, and it was just like, I never seen a no, I literally never saw a grown man throw a tantrum before, but I did that day. It was extremely weird how obsessed a stranger, like, I didn't know the dude's name, I didn't know his story, I just left him, I let him be. I simply moved on with my life. I'm like, and this was what, you know, I was into fitness, so it's kind of like, okay, is this dude just drinking a lot? Is he consuming drugs? Or, you know, like, I was curious, but I really didn't care. I just wanted him to get off me. But it's also, my thing is, when somebody came after me, like, you know, for no fucking reason, which is typically all the time, because I just stay to myself. I mind my business and do my work. That is what I do, you know. And people seem to not be able to stand these little demonic creatures, you know, who are a lot of it has to do with what they're ingesting, what they're allowing through their portals. They're sitting up worrying, like when you eat clean and you listen to things and you get away from low frequency people, you're not, you're a pure source of energy when you internalize things and figure it out internally, because it's never the other person. When they do shit to you or say shit to you or about you, you just get caught up in the moment, because it's just like, oh, I'm being attacked by a lower frequency being, either verbally, they're throwing word magic at me, okay, it's like the test is to be able to do that transmutation within yourself and transmute your own energy. And that's when you become a pure source of energy, because you took that bullshit energy, transmuted it, and made it a pure source of supply of energy to keep yourself going. It's just like, okay, now I understand. Understanding is so important. If there was more understanding in the world, there would be a lot more logic and peace in the world. The world needs more logic, but it also needs more feeling, more emotion, and there needs, the thing is, there's a super extreme misbalance between the two, because one of them has been abused, and the one that was abused was emotion, because they teach us to live out of fear and manipulate our love, and that unhinges the skills and the spiritual, the mental, emotional, and which also translates to the physical. A lot of people are sick because they're stressed. A lot of people eat like shit because they're stressed, or they're at, a poverty level and don't know how to, they lack the knowledge of how to make a healthy meal. Someone doesn't want me to talk. And like work out, do home workouts, which I never found hard to work out at home by myself, but I'm not like a big TV person either. But even when I had a TV in front of me, I just, I didn't care about the TV. I was just like, if I have the TV on, I'll just work out and face the TV if I really want to watch it that bad. It's just like, you're still doing something. It's not sitting there with a remote in your hand and a bag of chips or whatever. And that's how you transmute that. It's just like, okay, that just keeps your mind off the pain of working out or whatever, the stress and the, how strenuous it is depending on how you work out. Because I know my warm-ups look like some people's entire workouts. But that, that's just being someone who loves being active, loves martial arts, and loves performing, seeing how far I could push myself, and some people, they don't care to do that. I'm not even in it for the fight. I probably will, at this age. I probably will, because I do still have it, and with more knowledge and skill, and, I'm a finesser. I like to finesse when it comes to fighting. It's just like, I'm not like hard brawl, even though I can bang. Don't get me wrong. I can get in the trenches and really but I'd rather be out just, archery, make it beautiful, just straight art. But, I'm a brawler too. Never, I could do that too. But, there's enough of that, because then it's going to be like, oh, well, it sounds like she wants to fight, and just, like some insecure motherfucker is probably gonna be on here watching it, like, oh, I guess you a challenge or whatever, like, oh, I'm, calling. No, it's none of that. I'm just, whatever. Fuck it. If those who mind don't matter, those who matter don't mind. If it's understood, it ain't gotta be explained, and, I'm not gonna sit here and allow weaponized ignorance or incompetence to control my narrative and my voice. So anyways, yeah, pure sources of energy. Like, I fast, and I do my training. When I'm training, I'm fasting. Like, I have not eaten in roughly, I'd say I'll say somewhere between 20 to 24 hours. I have not eaten anything. Yeah, because my fast, I break my fast like for 4 hours, and I just eat whatever I can, and then I go back to nothing but water and tea and whatever else is that doesn't have carbs. And it makes me a pure source of energy, because it's like, when you fast, it rids your body of a lot more unnecessary toxins and I'm not even on the scope of anatomy right now. I'm pretty good at with explaining that too. But you know, carcinogens, antioxidants, all this stuff. It, you know, it takes all the excess BS. It detoxes your body pretty much. You know, and then going to get regular massages if you can. Going to the joint. You know, if not, you can, you know, buy a foam roller. More traffic. And you know, work out your knots that way. There's plenty of like little tools you can buy to work out knots if you can't afford them, or maybe you just happen to know someone who's a good masseuse. You just never know. Trip to the chiropractor, one I like to do, one I like to go to, it's called the Joint Chiropractic. It's a membership. If you don't know about it, it's like $49-$50 a month. You know, don't quote me on it. It depends on what kind of membership you're getting, I believe. And you get like 4 adjustments a month. So I just get mine every week, and yeah, they have branches. So, you know, there's probably one in your city or state that you might want to look into for you and whoever else you may be connected to, you know, just as a love language. Take care of yourself, you know. But they have, you know, of course you could get other people on your memberships, so, you know, so on and so forth. And the other one is Massage Envy, which is also a good one. You know, there is someone for everyone, you know. And I found a couple of good chiropractors. You know, you could find like, you know, kind of like soulmates in these people too. It's just kind of like my last masseuse, he was a soulmate, but you know, he had to move on and go to a better office, you know, or because he was outgrowing the one he was in. Okay, cool. And I, you know, didn't get his number or anything like that. I just kind of, okay, maybe we'll meet again, you know. And you know, feel like soulmates come in all kinds of different ways, shapes, or form. People think it's always, oh, romantic, you know, it comes in the form of people. No, it comes in the form of friendships, family, like it can come in the form of your kids, it can come in the form of a job, it can come in the form of a financial blessing, how you get your money, where you get your money, you know, your career, what you love to do, what you would do even if you weren't getting paid for it, what you would do for free, what you would do for other people. You know, it comes in those forms. What your hobbies could be soulmates. And to attract a soulmate, the soulmate is going to attract to your I gotta think about that one. I was gonna say purest form of energy, but okay, yeah, okay. So a soulmate, and then the karmic soulmate attracts to your, you know, will be attracted to your most polluted form of energy, you know. And that's why we have karmics. That's why we have karmic feminines, karmic masculines. You know, they just won't go away. They won't do right. You know, you have to sit there and transmute all the bullshit energy that they throw at you until the cycle is over. You finish, and it's just like you don't even have to transmute it. Their attacks are so useless even to them. Like their attacks eventually, you know, it doesn't even give them joy anymore. It's just they're just soul sucking themselves at that point. And that's, you know, that's the whole cycle. And the whole point is like getting on that frequency and leaving all the toxins on the lower frequency that you're trying to leave behind, you know, leave them to drop, you know, and let them fall where they may, and they find their blessings elsewhere, you know, which is cool. When you think about it, because it's just like, it just shows how much you've grown and how, you know, new levels, different devils, and the higher you go, you know, the harder it is to, you know, breathe. And just like lower, it's just equally as hard to breathe when you're lower, except when you're lower, you're in quicksand. Like once your feet touch that and you don't know how to maneuver to get out of that, you are sinking, buddy. Yeah, it's gonna be a slow and terrifying ride. This is what it's gonna be. But if you know how to maneuver, then maybe you can, you know, grab a twig or something, or, you know, grab some grass or something, like get, you know, something to dig yourself out of there. Maybe somebody will throw you a rope. You know, you never know, you know, that you'll find someone who is just supposed to just so happen to be there in the middle of nowhere and get you out of that situation. It happens, you know. I've been in open water before, on a, you know, on a certain physical level, not actual open water, I would probably just never do that to myself, unless it was like with a brand new boat or something like that. Anyways, in open water emotionally, in a really dark place, and there was somebody there with a rope that I just, I grabbed onto, or, somebody just will come and swim out in open water and get you. But, the thing is some people don't understand when somebody's trying to save them, because they're so in shock about what's going on. They have temporary PTSD or something, and you just got to knock them out and swim to shore with them. You got to, because you can't carry their weight, have them fighting you without drowning too. It's either you got to let them go, or you got to knock them out and be like, man, look, let's go. Stop the nonsense, please. Stop fucking playing. Whatever you choose to do, right? If you can't knock them out, then it's kind of like, oh well, Titanic. Can't really. Rose got to let them go. Can't really do much about this. So. Yeah, just gotta let them go, let them sink to the bottom, and you gotta kind of, you don't really have to stick around and watch it, or they don't, but that's just what happens. But if you know how to swim, that's a different story. You don't necessarily need it, but be nice if somebody came by with a nice little safety boat or a rowboat or something, and you guys kind of soulmated into another chapter, until that's over, and then get on land, start walking together, or walk with another people, meet your soul tribe, this, that, and the third, and then you all get together and ascend. There's one thing I found, that since the day, it was wild, because the day I left, oh shit, there we go, where's my water? We gonna talk about this. The day I left my old job, or the day, we just agreed, I didn't even fight for it. It's just like, all right, goodbye. I met some I've been meeting badass people ever since, soul tribe vibes for real. I thought, you graduate from your soul tribes too, and it's just like, okay, they're supposed to get you to the next chapter. Cool, I get it now. So I was like, soul tribe is supposed to stay around forever, aren't they? It's like, I don't, to me it's feeling like, they're soul tribe until they become karmic. Okay, cool. The last one, they weren't necessarily soul tribe, but they weren't karmic either, but they just went all the way karmic. Cool. All right, bye. And then that was on its way to making me karmic, and I'm like, I will not go here again. And I'm just like, okay, do I put in a 2 weeks notice? Is it worth it? Nah, probably not. I saw some good jobs popping up, and I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna be out. Just be done with it, because that works for me, but I wasn't willing to do it on my own. And I also, like I said, I wasn't really sure if this was a sign for me to go, or a sign for me to heal something, fight through something, or just straight be up out of there. But the sign was clear. It was like, no, you should have been gone. You should have been left. When they started talking all that shit, you should have skedaddled, almost. Just like, all right, cool. Because it wasn't there. I wasn't there for the people. I'm never at a job, even if the people are great and we all get along, it's just like, and nobody's there because they because it's like, this is just where I want to be every day of my life, for 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. It's hardly ever that, there's a rare breed, or maybe that person has found their soulmate, twin flame in that job, their divine masculine in that job. But I'm not talking about people, I'm just talking about the job in general, the place, the location, the energy of it that it brings to them, and it, that they can manifest from. They find that, and it's a pure source of energy from it. There's no motives attached. It's just like, oh, I really came in here for, because my frequency resonates with this place, and that's kind of how I try to move with everything, just like today I was at a place that was beautiful, but then they put me in another department, and all I hear is gossip. It's like, oh, why did they put me here towards the end of the shift? Just like, okay, cool, all good. I'll roll with it, because I know there's upstairs and there's downstairs, right? So, but it's like, kind of like, it felt like destiny swapping a bit, because the ups. Anyways, nevertheless, it was a high frequency place overall. Really great attitudes there, really great, not too much on the BS, like they were still, like out of the way, they were kind of like background noise instead of like trying to sitting there and just trying to make a huge, trying to get attention and stuff, and just being super pathetic, and it's like, they kept trying to check themselves, like, listen, we shouldn't be talking about this, that, and the third, it's just like, and we need more people like that, I'm willing to deal with it if you're willing to correct yourself, it's just better for yourself, for the environment, for yourself, unless you're just karmic, and that's, you're just around other karmics, and okay, cool, that works, whatever, that's what works for you. Is time wasting activity, and do that, brain space wasting. But anyways, the food even showed, and it was like a little heaven for me, because they told, I was being told about how everything's different all the time, and I love that, because I'm not a repetitious person. Like, I could sit up and throw kicks all day, but I know each kick is gonna land different, no matter what technique, no matter how I perfect the technique, is gonna land somewhat different. And that's what keeps me in a mind. Like jump rope, I hate jump rope, but I know that each one, I land a little different on the foot, and there's a certain group of muscle fibers that work, and I just try to think of it in terms of that, to try not to get bored with it. Jump roping is it's kind of one of those things I really have to zone out and focus, which I can do, but it's usually if I'm just by myself, and I'm just not going to be by myself, when I'm in the classes and everything like that. So it is what it is on that. And it's kind of, you get used to it after years. I've been training martial arts for like roughly, let me see, I would say like consistently for 8 to 10 years. The other ones were like, I was out for it. Yeah, consistent, or like all collectively, I would say 8 to 10 or 12 years, because I've had some pretty crazy injuries, like I've cracked my ribs, or like just I got sick, or just work, just one of those three. That's the only thing that would keep me from training, or I was just too far away from my home gym to train, which is the case now. I haven't been too close enough to it to have time to make the drive and make it to, and then the shifts are sporadic again, so once I get close again, I'll be able to schedule around that. But right now it's just kind of like, I'll roll with it, and see what happens. And I really do that because I love doing that stuff. I cook because I love cooking. I bartend because I love making drinks, and like, people being like, oh yeah, like, make something up or something like that. And I make something up and hope it's not disgusting, and it fits that customer. And, gauging what that, by that customer's energy, what I'm picking up off that customer, what they would actually enjoy if I prepared it for them. That's fun to me. And that's like my pure source of energy. It's not out of survival. It's out of my crown chakra and not my sacral chakra. Coming, and it comes up to me, because you could do what you love and still have muddled energy. It's like, yeah, like with my last place, I love to cook, but it's just like, look where I am. So my energy was like kind of convoluted, and that's because I had a bunch of static going on around me, and now channels are clear, back on freelance, back to really just doing what I love: traveling, cooking, bartending, exploring, learning new techniques, it's a beautiful world. It just really is. It's great. And I lost sight of what I love working in that place. It's like, damn, did I sell my soul? Like signing these papers, it was weird. And I'm like, no hard feelings, but damn, what the hell? Like, I did it because, like, freelancing was slow. And I went on ahead and just, like, okay, what else do I have to lose, so to speak? And yeah, my fucking soul is what I had to lose. So I'm glad that it went down like it went down, because they're like, oh, we like you as a person. I'm just like, I didn't have shit to say because I'm like, I'm already on my way. I mentally checked out months ago. Like in the second month there, I was like, well, yeah, not gonna work here. Definitely not a career. It's a career choice, career field, but not a career location. So it's just kind of like, I like it when it's, like it would be great if it could be a steady pace or a slower pace, if people would do things that are high frequency instead of, like they said, an idle mind is the devil's playground. So, you let all those demons that you ingested through your ears come out through your mouth, and yeah, it's wild. It's wild, and and then like seep into your brain, and that's all you could talk about. It's just like, yeah, I'm around something demonic. There's an energy here, and like these people, and people know my situation. They were running around spreading gossip, spreading my business, what they thought was my business, because I played my games too. I'm not like exempt from that. But it's like that's what people's minds were filled with, and it was coming out their portals, their vocal portals, their throat chakra portals. So leaving themselves susceptible to that, it's just like the Most High lets you get away with a lot of stuff for the longest time. It's to the point it seems like that you will never, reap consequences for it, but you definitely do at some point. It's just not when you expect it. It's just when things are up for you. Like, everything's good, everything's great. But the thing is, it's like, when I got this place, I knew that I wasn't going to stay, because it's just like, I didn't even have other opportunities to make money. It's just kind of smack dab in the middle of my finances. Like, I was making, triple just about what I was making there. And it was wild to me. Like, it wasn't like I wasn't even making living wages there. And then it was blocking all my other opportunities except for one. And, that I'm going to tomorrow. So I'm also RB technician, or I'm in training. So I'm working. I like improving myself by getting jobs that can teach me a lot. If you can't tell already, which is another way I keep my portal clear. Some people just aren't interested in improving themselves, and that's what I struggle with when dealing with people. It's kind of like, because I'm like quick to just leave a person alone if I see that they are geared towards not improving themselves or trying to come up off of somebody else. It's just like, that's, it's just like, I feel like I'm not on that frequency where I feel like that should even exist in anyone's reality. And it's just like, that's just, maybe it's an opinion, and maybe it's just facts, but it's something I don't resonate with, and I don't, I try to keep it to myself and just bow out gracefully. But then it's just like, when I pull back my energy, people get crazy. Like, it's very weird when I just stop. I go cold turkey, or I stop communicating, I stop, responding, or I stop responding the way they want me to respond. And then it's just like, then that's when the attacks start. That's when the, and you did this and that, and you said this. Okay, cool. Like, I don't really care. You're not exposing anything. It's like, I have stories, and I have plenty of them that I tend to tell right here on YouTube. So you can run around and tell all the stories you want to, but nobody's going to tell them like me. It's not going to be lies. It's not going to be diluted. I'm telling on myself, and I'm telling on other people. I won't say any names, but I'm just saying, if I'm going to tell on something, I'm going to tell on myself wholeheartedly. So, you can't tell one side of the story without the other. It's your side, their side, and the truth. And I do my best to tell the truth, so I tell both sides. That is, and like, sometimes it is how I viewed it, but I just try to just stick with the events that happened and not what I think happened until after the facts. Like, I'll tell you what actually happened, and how can I put this without putting my own spin? Yeah, basically, I try to tell you without trying to put my own spin on it. And, that's another pure form. You got to tell on yourself too. It's just like complete transparency, another form of pure energy. Now, if you're telling it and you're trying to, cover up what you did, the part you played in the story, then of course, you're going to have muddled energy. Your energy is going to be impure, and you're not going to resonate on that level, that subject, that aspect, that value, whatever, in life. if that portal isn't clear, you're not going to attract somebody with the clear portal. You're going to attract somebody with the same amount of pollution in that portal as you. Like if you're karmic, you're going to attract a karmic, you know, like, and you're going to be attracted to that karmic temporarily until you clear that portal, you purify it, you know. And the more you purify it, the greater the separation goes, and the less room they have in the relationship. And you just simply eventually outgrow them, and you outgrow the whole energetic field of what brought you two together, and then you have to go. Yeah, I guess I've made my point pretty much. I'm trying to explain it in as many ways as I can, and like just sources of pure energy for yourself. Meditation, cleansing showers, like, you know, clear your chakras during your auric field, energetic field. Swimming's a good way. It's a great way actually, or sweat it out in the sauna, the steam room. Yikes, man, you're doing a lot for it. What else? Getting grounded. Getting by anything by the water, having to do with the water is instant transmutation of the energy, and getting your feet on sand. Yeah, those are great. Just nature in general transmutes everything. Like, you know, the grass, the trees transmutes all this toxic energy the cars are putting out that we, you know, we've become so codependent on. It transmutes the, you know, the emissions of these vehicles, the pollution of it, and transmutes it into oxygen for us. You know, if that isn't a miracle, I don't know what is. We're literally driving around in a miracle, on a miracle. The water helps it do that. Even though they're dumping oil and garbage into it periodically, on a regular, actually, not on occasion, just on a regular. It's weird. Like I said, how intelligent is a species that has to destroy its own habitat to be happy? You know, it's demonic. You're a very unhappy person to have to do that, you know, because I'm just like, I do my best. I thought I was a minimalist, but I had no free. I moved into a trailer and found out I was a hoarder. Like, I was just like, all this shit I don't need, and I'm working on throwing more and more away. And if I feel like if I haven't used it, unless it's like emergency kit stuff, if I haven't used it and it serves no real purpose, like I couldn't use it in an emergency either. Well, I'm pretty resourceful, so maybe it was a reason I held on to it at one point, and then maybe I got the funds to get the real thing and not the substitute. You know, like flat tire or something. You know, you drop up on a block of wood, you know, and then you get an actual jack stand, and you get rid of the block of wood. You know, even though the block of wood was probably free, you know, it was free because I found it somewhere. Or you get a little ramp that you could drive up on, and, you know, like I've had 2 flats with this trailer, and I was able to, somebody, you know, helped me fix it, and then the other one I was actually able to take care of myself. So, yeah.